Welcome to CWCD, Casual Wrestling Conversation Daily for March 28, 2025. It's Friday, which means it's time for the special edition we like to call the IWC Meltdown. I am your host, the Notorious Dirty D, joined today by the Queen of Casual, back for the first time in a long time. Level Up Lauren is back in the building.
What's up, y'all?
Today we're diving headfirst into 5 of the dumbest, most brain-dead takes from the IWC. Every Friday we crack open the internet wrestling sewer and pull out the worst opinions we can find, tear them to shreds. 5 takes, 5 meltdowns, all facts, no fluff. You got a hot take of your own, you want us to talk about it on the show, drop it in the comments, hit the Casual Wrestling Discord, or shoot us an email at questions@casualwrestling.com. Today's show is brought to you by the Casual Wrestling merch store. We'll plug that later. Right now, let's start the meltdown. Okay, Lauren, let's jump into it. You're new here, but we've been doing this thing where we talk about these wild messages and wild takes that I get, mostly from TikTok, but some on YouTube, some come from other places. Occasionally someone comes into Discord, just says something mean, then leaves. That happens from time to time. But we're going to start this week with a meltdown, very cold take from some IWC goof who thinks Tiffany Stratton is already washed after just one promo with Charlotte Flair. Let's read it. It goes, "Bro, you clearly don't know shit if you think Tiffany Stratton is ready for this level. She got smoked by Charlotte last week, and you're out here acting like she's the future. LMFAO." I hate grown men who use acronyms like that. That pisses me off. Just fucking type it out, all right? But WWE already screwed this up because of clowns like you hyping her up. It's too late. She's exposed. She ain't her. She's just another Barbie gimmick that's gonna flop. Admit you were wrong. You goof. That's all right. So, all right. This one's easy for me, Lauren, right? Tiffany Stratton didn't get exposed. She got undercut by Charlotte Flair, and there's a huge difference that the IWC struggles to comprehend. Charlotte didn't do her job. Charlotte is supposed to elevate the babyface, and instead, she sabotaged Tiffany Stratton straight up. She stepped all over her promo. She talked over her lines. She completely no-sold the moment, and that's not what being a vet is supposed to be. It was extremely unprofessional. You're telling me right now that Tiffany Stratton is the problem when Charlotte Flair showed up and made the entire segment about herself. She was going for like a year and a half, and all of a sudden now it's back to the look at me, look at me. I don't understand where people are taking away that Tiffany is the issue in this storyline. This isn't AEW, where you're supposed to line up. You know, in AEW, they do this thing where they line up next to a person, and it's a freestyle rap battle. They're doing diss tracks mid-TV show, and they're trying to mess each other up. WWE is always supposed to be about the story. It's about teamwork. It's about building together. You hear them talking about it's kind of a dance, and they're partners in the dance. And it felt like Charlotte walked into that promo and just stomped all over the story, stomped all over Tiffany Stratton like she owed her money or something. I don't know what the issue was. But to me, Tiffany's not a flop. She is still a star in the making. She's just early in this, and she's going to have to learn that people like this exist, that everybody's not out to better the product. Some people will be out for themselves. I still think Tiffany Stratton is her. Charlotte just didn't do her job. But maybe I'm wrong. And maybe coming out and just shitting all over someone like Tiffany Stratton, who is still kind of finding her bearings, maybe that's what it means to be a veteran these days. But I don't know. I don't call that good storytelling. What are your thoughts on this situation?
So as we were watching it, right, like I wasn't too sure what happened prior to that. The promo was the first thing that I've really seen of their two interactions. But the first thing I thought was like, why isn't fucking Charlotte's face moving? Number one, right? I was just like, I'm so mad.
So it's been a minute since you've seen her, right?
Yeah. So I was like, what? Like, she looks pretty, but like,
she's a whole different person.
There's no
She's
emotion,
plastic.
and she looks nothing like Charlotte Flair to me. So that was my first thought. Then my second thought was like, she just seemed so monotone, and like I couldn't follow what she was saying. It was so boring. You could tell Tiffany kind of was like trying to like interact, but I didn't feel like that chemistry there, and it should have been there. I don't think that Tiffany's at fault because she's still learning. And like what you said, the other person wasn't giving her anything to work with. You know, she hasn't learned that skill yet to say, fuck you, I'm going to take over the show anyways.
Yeah. So I read the same thing. The monotone, I think, came from Charlotte being so over prepared. I think Charlotte sat in a room and thought about every possible thing that Tiffany Stratton could say in that moment, and how am I going to fuck her up no matter what direction she went. And I think Tiffany Stratton came into this promo with the idea of like, it's a back and forth. It's a volleyball game. We're going to bounce the ball back and forth. I'm going to get some shots in. Charlotte's going to get some shots in. And we're going to try and better this story and move it towards WrestleMania. But it felt to me that monotone, Charlotte just felt like someone overly
I was
prepared
the only one who
for
felt
the
it,
moment.
right? She felt monotone.
But that's kind of her new character, is this arrogant, talks and just condescending. And that's fine as far as the character goes. Mm-hmm. The issue is, I took issue with the fact when you're cutting a promo, you're supposed to let somebody complete their kind of line of thought, and then you pick up and you roll off of that. It felt like Charlotte had so many bullets in the chamber that the minute Tiffany said something that Charlotte wanted, she just jumped right in. She undercut her. She started talking. And Tiffany, when you're young like that and you don't have the experience, you kind of back up. You go, okay, well, I'm going to let you talk now. And then it kind of got nasty and it gets dirty. And then I think after that happens, if you're Tiffany Stratton, you're now in your head going, wait, what is happening now? I thought we were trying to build clearly to a moment at WrestleMania. Now it feels like I've been put into a Shark Tank and I've got to defend myself in an environment that I'm not ready. I'm not used to. I came in looking to dance. I came in looking for a partner in this story. And now I catch myself on my heels having to defend myself. That's what it felt like to me. And I don't think that's fair. And I don't think the criticism of Tiffany Stratton is fair, because I mean, I can tell you, I've been in a million arguments before where you approach somebody and you know there's tension and you kind of extend an olive branch and then they hit you with something out of nowhere and you go, I got to catch my balance. Now I'm going to fuck you up. I think that when Tiffany comes back, she will be more prepared for this moment. She will, this may get a little nasty, but I find it, you start to see trends with certain people, and you see a trend with Charlotte Flair where like Nia Jax kind of slapped the shit out of her at one point, and it just feels like I want to like Charlotte Flair. I always do. Yeah. But I always end up circling back around to being like, she just does these things that feel like narcissistic and not in the like wrestling heel kind of way. It usually feels like slimy, like my dad's in the business, I can get away with this shit. In the same way that like WWE will send out a memo and it says like, we got to watch the language. We got to, we got to be careful. And then The Rock comes back and he's like, F-bomb this, F-bomb that. This is bullshit. You have small balls, right? The Rock does all these things. And of course the crowd goes nuts because they haven't heard it in a while. And I feel like with Charlotte, she heard the audience going like, this story is not living up to what we want it to be. And so then she goes, all right, I'll just make it about me now. I'll shit all over Tiffany. I'll ruin it. And I think Tiffany was a little bit genuine when she kind of popped back and was like, this is who you are. Yeah. You tend to put fires out in WWE of people who are up and coming. So it feels like that was a little bit real. If it wasn't real, then I don't understand the purpose of the storytelling, but it felt real to me, at least. Yeah. You got anything else on that?
No, I think that, Ludwig Kaiser, is her boyfriend?
Yeah.
I think they'll have a little discussion when they get home and Tiffany might come back with some fucking fire. I think that he's so good on a microphone, and I think those things can be learned, but she hasn't gotten there yet. And so this time she's going to come back with... That's
a very solid point that I didn't even think about is...
Oh, yeah. She's
got somebody behind her who... He is one of the talented ones on the microphone, and he does come off as a genuinely clever person. Mm-hmm. And I think he probably watched it and said, all right, cool. We're going to load up. Yeah. I'll have you ready now because we're not going to do the thing where you come unprepared. You're not, if she's not going to play as a team, you're right. I think Ludwig will have her more on her toes for the
Yes.
next encounter,
Yeah.
which is exciting.
I mean,
think
maybe there is even like a sense of like respect for her because Charlotte is like older than her. In some people's mindset, it's like I'm respectful of my elders, like she's her elder, you know.
Well, yeah, I think there is a respect. I think Tiffany Stratton is trying. It's the old bullshit thing where like all of the veterans go, you have to respect the veterans and stuff.
I always hear
But you
about
don't have to.
the locker room hierarchy or something.
Yeah,
right?
but you don't have to respect the veterans when they pull shit like this. That was taken out at the knees. That was a low blow. That was bullshit. And I think you're right. I think Tiffany comes back tomorrow and definitely it's a different story.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Meltdown number 1. We got 4 to go. Let's move on from hating on Tiffany Stratton and let's talk about freedom of choice. This time we're talking about Saraya. Someone thinks, Lauren, that Saraya switching companies or leaving AEW somehow makes her some kind of wrestling Benedict Arnold. I can't make this kind of shit up. These are the messages I get, but here's the take. It says, you better not be one of those losers trying to fantasy book Saraya back into WWE. She ran her mouth, she quit the company, and now you guys want to welcome her back with open arms. Hell no. She's a traitor. Stay the fuck out, Saraya. And if you're defending her, you're just as fake as she is. Take your nostalgia boner somewhere else. We don't want you or her repping WWE. These guys, like, they need, what is it, Xanax or Prozac? It's one of the, they need something to help them relax, right? Saraya, at the end of the day, number one, Saraya is human, right? She gets to make decisions, but also she made business decisions like every other adult does on the planet. WWE didn't provide what she thought she needed in a moment, and she took her ball and she went where the opportunity was. And now, maybe that didn't pan out the way she wanted it to. That's fine, but that's life. But let's be real. The only problem I ever had with Saraya, and then this is what kind of got me into a back and forth with her on TikTok, was I thought it was bullshit when she took the shot at WWE when she joined AEW.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the cool thing to do. So I understand you come in, you're kind of hyped up, you just talked to Tony Khan, everything's feeling good, and you go, I'm going to take a shot at the other company. Bad idea. It got me into a back and forth with her on TikTok when I called her out for it. But I never stopped respecting her ability to make a decision or her ability to wrestle or her ability to chase what she thinks is right. I think it's petty to leave a company who never did anything to you and talk shit about it, but I don't think it's petty to leave the company, right? I think if there's a better opportunity, I say this all the time, these guys who leave WWE and go to AEW or leave AEW and go to WWE, make it cordial. And Saraya's done that this time. In leaving AEW, she's said all the right things that keep all your doors open, right? Yeah. Make sure that when you leave AEW, there's a door to get back in, and make sure when you leave WWE, there's a door to get back in. But she's got a podcast coming out, which I'm excited for. The thing that makes me laugh is how the IWC just immediately wants to kind of shut down the minute someone leaves AEW. They're done, because like the conversation is, don't listen to her podcast. She's a traitor. She hasn't even said she's coming back to WWE. All she mentioned was that she was open to the idea of coming back to WWE. If she wants to come back, though, like who wouldn't want Saraya or Paige, whatever she's going to go by, who wouldn't want her back, right? I'd take her as a wrestler. I'd take her as a manager. I'd take her on a Legends deal. Like, Paige returning is a W for any company.
Yeah.
Like, she's a household name. She's earned the spot. There's a damn movie about her. Like, the IWC's got to quit gatekeeping. Like, she tried something different. To be mad at that is really kind of loser energy. Am I wrong about this? Am I on the wrong track?
No, I mean, I'm like right there with you. Like, it was kind of stupid when she talked shit about WWE, like when she came into the ring, because I did see that. But it was what everybody was doing at that time. To me, she's always going to be Paige. Even when she left, it wasn't like, oh my God, she's Saraya. She was never Saraya to me. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, but like, wasn't she only the champion for like 2 months in AEW or something like that?
Yeah, but what I don't understand your line of thought. Like, that feels like you're hating on her.
Like, I don't feel like she did enough there for me not to want her back. Why don't I want her back in WWE?
But that's my issue is why
I don't think it matters. It
I don't think what she does over there should affect her ability to come back to WWE, nor what she did in WWE should affect her ability to go to AEW. What my issue is just when you leave one and go to the other, don't shit in on the place you used to be. Just go, it didn't work out. This is a better it's like everybody who leaves a job, you don't have, like, you're going to want references and things like that. So when you leave, like, maybe leave everything in order. Even if it wasn't perfect, do the mature thing and just say, like, hey, yeah, that didn't work out. I'm going to try this for a little bit. Door's not closed. I could always come back. I mean, I
agree with you on that 100%.
That's kind of my take. I don't like this IWC mentality that if you leave, like, so what they're going to point to with this, I can tell you, they promise, they always do, is they're now going to come at me and go, let's talk about Ricochet.
Dude, that was literally in my mind.
You talk shit about Ricochet. I literally was
just thinking that.
But Ricochet tried to shit on WWE as he walked out the door. Same with Samantha Irvine, right?
Yeah.
If the conversation would have been with Ricochet, if he'd have left WWE and he just would have said, look, I didn't feel like I was getting the opportunities that I needed. I'm going to go test out this company, and I may come back. I may go to TNA. I have plenty of options in wrestling that I can try out. Then I don't feel the need to talk about it, to address the issue. But it's when someone walks out a door and goes, this place that you guys cheered for me, you guys, like, yeah. I never talked bad about Ricochet until he tried to turn around and turn it on WWE. I always said I thought Ricochet was extremely talented in the ring. He needed to work on his promo ability. Some people argue that's what he's doing in AEW. That's fine. If that's what you believe, I still think he's using crutches in AEW. I think he's doing this corny kind of cheesy thing, but that's a different discussion. My problem is why can't you just walk out of one company and not say anything? And the problem is, like, Saraya this time, she walked out of AEW and she had nothing but good things to say. Like she said,
it's the professional thing.
It's the what?
It's the professional thing to do.
Sure, yeah. And I think she learned from the first one. Like, so how can you fault her? She learned from the first time she transitioned out of one company to another. She came out of this one and said, look, Tony Khan, had a good time with him. I don't have a problem with him. I like all the girls in the locker room. I wasn't forced out. We don't know if that's the real story or not. She could have been forced out. But the professional thing to do is you leave like that. It leaves the door open on the other side to walk back into WWE if you want to do a podcast, and both fan bases should embrace her. The problem is the IWC just immediately, bullshit, she left us. She's not one of us anymore. Mm-hmm. They always accuse the WWE fans of doing that, but the reality is that is a very tribalistic AEW thing that happens. All right, so I guess respecting someone's right to choose is a crime now. Let's keep the stupidity rolling because the IWC is trying to slander our girl, Lauren, Britt Baker. So this next one comes from somebody who probably has All Elite since day one, like tattooed on their arm or something like that. They think Britt Baker was dead weight in AEW all along. Here's the take. They say, you Britt stans are pathetic, bro. Nobody gives a damn that she deleted AEW off of her profile. Good. She was dead weight anyway. She held the whole women's division back for years, and you clowns still act like she was ever the face of something. Nah, she's a mid-ass wrestler with a dentist gimmick and a god complex. Cry harder when she gets passed over. She deserves it. Let's see if she can cut a promo without bleeding like a stuck pig every match. Spoiler alert, she can't. This is the denial of the IWC that I just have the hardest time understanding. To say she's dead weight, there was a point in time, Britt Baker was the entire AEW women's division. She carried that thing by herself for years. And she carried it on her back while that company was still trying to figure out how to book any other female at all. She literally was going out there and bleeding for the company for somebody who literally was a no-name. You talk, because like a lot of people come from NXT or they come from these different situations. To me, I had never heard of Britt Baker. So all of a sudden she pops up on my radar, and to go, especially in AEW, from somebody that I've never heard of to go, oh, that's one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, we bought a poster. We did certain things.
Went to shows to see her.
Sure. It's insane to me that this is the sentiment just becomes, this is what we said last segment, is these people who just overreact to this. Like, if she's leaving AEW, good for her. If she's not, okay, like, but just being mad at her for I don't know, she's taking a stand. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know why she's not wrestling. Being mad at that is insane to me, because if I was WWE, and I believe this to be true, they're going to scoop her up in seconds. If she becomes available, there's no question in my mind that Triple H signs that. As fast as he got Ricky Starks, he will sign Britt Baker immediately. Dude, she's got mic seals, okay?
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. She's got the look. She's got the merch appeal, right? She is a complete package. The argument that I always hear is she can't wrestle. I don't know what that means. I've watched enough Britt Baker matches to go, it's good enough.
Yeah.
It's fucking good enough. I don't know what that means. It's good enough for me.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, well, it's not 2 out of 3.
I've never, like, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. But I've never seen a match that she's wrestled and been like, she just really sucks, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
she's held her own.
I've watched wrestling matches where I go like, oh, that person is bad.
Yeah.
I've never watched a Britt Baker match and gone like, she's not good at this.
No.
We saw her, I think, in person in San Antonio one time. And she was phenomenal.
Not Santa Rosa. What's her name?
She
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa.
That was
it was
fucking awesome.
Yeah, like crowd was fucking hyped.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what the argument or the complaint was, but this is the same thing that the IWC AEW did with CM Punk, where they've had to eat shit. Because I stood on 10 toes when CM Punk was going through the shit in AEW. I was a supporter. I kept saying, you guys are fucking wrong. If people talk to me the way they talk to CM Punk and disrespected him that way, I'd react the same way. He's not a crazy person. No. He's not a bad guy. That's just reality. And to me, they're doing the same thing with Britt Baker, right? If I carried that division for 2 or 3 months and all of a sudden they just kind of forgot about me and started talking shit, I would have the same attitude. I'd be pissed off. Like, tell me this, if Britt Baker showed up on Raw next week,
yeah, is
she not top 5 women in all of wrestling immediately?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I love Britt Baker. And I actually kind of like her whole move. Like, she basically just broke up with AEW she made it like Facebook official, you know?
I guess. So they're reporting that she's still under contract and stuff like that, and that she can't leave. But she made it clear, like, hey, I may still be here, but fuck you guys. I'm not going to. But yeah, like really break down. Look at WWE's roster. Take like a real look at it and you go Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. They're top dogs. You got Io Sky, who's following very close to them.
Yes.
After those, you got Liv Morgan, who I think is that next tier. You've got Jade Cargill, who I'm off of a little bit because I don't think the last couple of times she's been on TV, she's been that good.
Okay.
I think she needs work. But I think that was always kind of the thought we had.
Yeah, she needed more repetition. Work, and that's okay. She's got a great look, but the other parts need a little more. I get that.
But once you go after that, now you're talking Britt Baker to me, and then you got Charlotte Flair and you got Becky Lynch. They're
legends. They're
in a world of their own. Yeah. They're like the top
and
ring.
Alexa Bliss is like coming back, you know?
But then she just disappears and stuff like that. You know, she's still got to prove herself. But to me, this is the argument I'm making is like, if you're going S tier, A tier, Britt Baker comes in immediately is low A tier or the very tippy top of the B tier.
Yeah.
And that's just because it'll take a couple weeks to develop, and I think she ends up being high A tier. But she could immediately go in and hold her own with a Charlotte Flair. She could immediately go in and hold her own with a Bianca Belair or a Rhea Ripley or a Liv Morgan. So to me, it is absolutely insane that people have this opinion and make this argument that
she's
dead weight, right? Like, just be honest. Be like, oh man, this sucks. And unfortunately, she's tired of AEW. Because I saw other people going like, she's done everything she could do in AEW. That's not true.
No.
There's so much more for her to do in any company. The reality is, they don't want to give her flowers. She doesn't fit the mold that the IWC likes. She's so WWE,
Her
like
gear was
everything,
phenomenal.
everything about her
mic
screams.
skills were great.
Yeah,
her whole gimmick of like being able to get the crowd to do what she wants.
DMD.
Like nobody told her, "Hey, you got to do this." She must have come up with that on her own. You know what I mean? I don't know. I love Britt Baker, so I think that they're crazy. So
I hope Tony Khan pull the trigger, make the decision, cut her from her contract. Who are we trading? I'll make a trade right now. Who do you want? Who you guys want? Like who does the AEW fans want? We'll make the trade and we'll take Britt Baker in return. And you probably get a pretty hefty thing because I think Britt Baker's a big deal. But yeah. AEW fans love to turn on their own. Let's move on. Next up, the IWC wants to cancel El Grande Americano for being, Lauren, funny. Okay? So let's talk about comedy.
Okay.
There's characters, there's context. There's things that the IWC apparently has no clue how to process, and this is one of them. The last couple of weeks, I've been called racist for multiple different things. What happens is they use it so often that it becomes kind of numbing, and the word doesn't hold the same weight. The first time it was said to me, I got very defensive. I'm like, I'm not a racist, right? But after it's been said to me 5 or 6 times, I start to go, you guys just don't like what I say.
True.
And this is your defense mechanism to get mad. And when it comes to things like this in professional wrestling, it's interesting to me. So here's the take, right? This take came from one of the ideas. It was messaged to me because I was talking about how I liked El Grande Americano, right? Mm-hmm. If you're laughing at this El Grande Americano shit, you're part of the problem, dude. This gimmick is straight up racist. Triple H is really showing his true colors again, and y'all defending it like it's just a character. Nah, you're just as trash as the people who wrote this. Enjoy co-signing casual racism while the rest of us peace out. I hope your dumbass enjoys watching this clown show while the rest of us move on. Mm-hmm. Here we go again. Like, this is what I'm talking about. They throw racism around like it's insane. I think the problem is for a lot of the younger generation is they don't understand this has been a staple of wrestling for a long time. Wrestlers have always used politics, race, certain cultural like situations, patriotism and things like that. They've used those as a means to get over as a bad guy. But my problem is a couple weeks ago I made a video, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, wrestling's fake. You know, it's fake. And they all got mad. It's not fake. We know it's scripted, but it's not fake.
Yeah.
And I said, you guys take it all way too serious. Things affect you way too much. And the answer from the IWC was a constant, we know it's not real. We know it's not real. So then these are the same people now who are screaming and losing their mind because a character is doing character-like things. Why in a movie, like, can you have a bad guy who does bad things and murders people, and that's okay? That's television, that's TV, that's a movie. If they're racist, we just categorize them as a villain, right?
Yeah.
This gimmick, first off, the Gulf of America is not racist. It's stupid, but it's not racist. It's a joke. This is clearly, if it's Gable who wrote this or if it's someone who's right.
I think it's hilarious.
It's a joke, and it's supposed to be a joke, and it's over the top. It's satirical. It is supposed to be about laughing and having fun and pissing people off, but you're only supposed to get mad to the level where it just incites an emotion. You can't start throwing like finger guns around and going, you're racist. You're racist. You're racist. My issue is this is the same IWC that cheers when MJF talks about like dead people, right? Or dead people's family or these things. And I have no problem with it because I always say the heel should go as far as the heel needs to go to create the best story for me to watch. And if I don't like it, I just won't pay attention. But I never want the heel to feel like I can't go that far, right?
Yeah.
I say this with Gunther all the time because I feel like Gunther has a very hard limiter on his ability to be heel where he goes, I can't say anything that people will find remotely offensive. And I think that holds him back from being a good bad guy. But like,
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like for real. This is a luchador who's wearing red, white, and blue.
Yes.
With the American Alpha logo on it. Chad Gable came in with a doctor's note saying he can't wrestle. And you guys are trying to take serious something that is clearly designed to be a ridiculous gimmick. But my problem is, if everything offends you, then wrestling's not for you, because wrestling has always been something that's pushed the limits. And so, like, go watch a docuseries, go watch A&E, go watch something else. Wrestling is supposed to be ridiculous. There was a point in time where The Undertaker hung Stephanie McMahon on a cross and did like satanic worshiping and things like that.
Yeah.
And I remember people freaking out, but it's like, it's wrestling. He's not really having a seance. The Undertaker's not really satanic.
Yeah.
This is to get shock value. This is for story. So I don't understand. And what the question I kind of have is, do you think this is real outrage, or do you think that this is just like the people that for social media, they need something to be mad at. They know they can get clicks and attention if they just start screaming racism, racism, racism. This is racist.
Look, my first question is, who's this supposed to be racist against? Mexicans? Because I'm Mexican. I'm not offended. I think it's funny as fuck. Okay?
Yeah, but you're definitely...
I'm Mexican. Okay?
I'd say you're comedic. No. This is a compliment.
Did you say you're not Mexican?
No.
I am Mexican.
No, you're clearly Mexican.
Yeah.
This is a compliment. You have one of the best sense of humors I know. So you're able to see everything for the comedic. It's why me and you get along.
Yeah.
It's you see the comedy in everything. So that, to me, that's the best way to live, because it's hard to be offended when everything is funny.
Exactly.
Right? Someone changing the name of an ocean, what the fuck does that matter?
It doesn't affect me.
What does it matter, right? It doesn't hurt. You can call it whatever you want.
I mean, I don't care about that at all.
I mean, let's be the realistic thing is it's some dirty ass water anyway. I don't want to swim in the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico. I don't want to be in either of them.
Crazy sharks around there.
Yeah. So you have,
I saw it and I thought it was amazing, because I always tell you about how much I love like characters, like real drawn out characters, not just I'm this and I'm that, or I'm the man or whatever. So I thought this was so clever and cool, and I was like, oh shit. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, kind of slipped over my head a little bit that it was Chad Gable, and then you explained it to me and I was like,
well, hold on. Wavy D says we're not, Wavy D at one point in time went and saw in his youth one of Americana's matches. So he says it's not Chad Gable. Chad Gable would have been a wee little lad when Americana was coming
I
out.
mean, I don't know. So
we can speculate that it's Chad Gable.
Speculation.
But we cannot pin this on Chad Gable yet, because we don't know.
Well, whatever it is, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be funny. It's going to be fun. And if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. And number 2, go get a life. What is going to make you happy? Smile, please. Just smile. Have a great day. God bless you.
Jokes are jokes. I mean, that's the problem. Like, jokes are meant to be jokes. And I know that with every generation, as you get older, you start to look at the next generation. You go, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Our parents did it to us. But really, like, I don't want to live in a world where jokes aren't jokes anymore. Where we're not allowed. I already have a huge issue, like, with movie theaters and movie companies, because we don't get real comedy movies anymore, right? There's no more Superbads. There's no more Hangovers. There's no more of these raunchy, just offensive, openly offensive movies that are funny. Yeah, Grandma's, all these movies that are meant to be comical. We know they're bad and we know they're offensive, but that's the joke. And you're allowed. I hate censorship. I really do. I hate this idea that like this is not racist. There's real racism going on in the world. And if you want to point your finger and go fucking plant your flag somewhere to handle real racism, more power to you, brother. But like planting your flag on Chad Gable and WWE, or like me for liking this situation, that's insane. No different than the people who planted their flag a couple weeks ago because I said I'm Team Bianca Belair, which is absolutely insane, right? That I'm cheering for the black woman that I think is extremely talented, and I don't like the Japanese woman. I'm racist.
You're racist?
I'm racist because I don't like the Japanese, but I don't dislike her because she's Japanese.
Yeah.
I've listed a litany of reasons. She's too small. I don't think she does like wrestling that well. Everything that everybody else says is so good about her, I don't see. But they want to cast all that to the side and go, no, you're just racist, right? And so this, like, I don't want to live. Like, if I'm so happy that this happened, I'm so happy that they took the opportunity to take the cheap joke, the dumb, stupid, funny, cheap laugh. They took the laugh and it worked, and you got people pissed off. You got a certain amount that feel like they're in on the joke and they're laughing at it. Like, it's stupid, but it is what it is. It's funny. Yeah. It's funny.
I'm excited to see what happens with it.
All right, so let's bring it home, Lauren, with one final meltdown. This one is the IWC thinks that Jey Uso's done. They think that this last Monday Night Raw, he was ruined, and this take says, how the hell are you guys still riding with Jey Uso when Jimmy just ethered him on live TV? That slap was a fucking burial, and you are still talking about main event Jey Uso? Get the hell out of here. The Yeet era is a joke, just like your takes. Just go dance with Logan Paul and pass out Lunchables in the back. Triple H better come to his senses and book the real Uso with talent. You're the reason wrestling podcasts are such a joke. I didn't realize I affect people this way. That the things I say, like, I don't believe half the shit I say, but I stand by what I say. I just don't believe half the shit I say. But to sit here and be this emotional about something that you clearly don't comprehend. You don't understand storytelling then. You don't understand storytelling the way I understand storytelling. To say that this ethered the story, that this ethered Jey Uso, I see this so differently than I guess a lot of the IWC. That slap was the best thing that has happened to Jey Uso in months, because instead of being a burial, I think this is the rebirth. This is the second coming. This is the second chance for Jey Uso. This story, Lauren, had flatlined. It had literally become the most watered down David versus Goliath, rinse and repeat. Gunther's the bully, but he's not a good bad guy, and he's just picking on the little guy. And all of a sudden, we've got drama. All of a sudden, we got a little betrayal. All of a sudden, we got a little emotional weight to the story where Jimmy came in and he woke up Jey Uso. Now, Triple H finally found some roots for this, because last week I questioned. I on the podcast, I came out and said, I love the Yeet movement. I think it's great. I think the optics are unbelievable, right? I can't believe that at WrestleMania we're going to have 80,000 people yeeting at the same time. That's going to be phenomenal. But I question, what do you do once that's over? Once he wins the title, how do you continue that momentum? Because it will grow tiresome. And this was it. Like, Triple H had to be listening to me, because he immediately corrects the course. And this is it. This is what you had to do. You had to emotionally invest. You had to have Jimmy question, like, hey, you become a fucking cartoon character.
Yeah.
I need that old Jey Uso back. So now we can mix the two together. Now we can have a little bit of the fun yeeting Jey Uso, and we can get some of that old kind of real raw bloodline Jey Uso back. But this is, to me, like to call this an ether. No, this is the start of something big. If you're hating on this, to me, from my point of view, if you hate on what happened on Monday Night Raw, which was the great course correction heading into WrestleMania, it's a red flag to me that you're one of these IWC hipster kids, and they exist all over the place, who they want to just hate what's popular on principle. They just want to be mad at whatever is mainstream. I don't like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I know you haven't kept up with it completely, but I sent you the set. Don't you feel like this kind of felt like a turning point, and not? Did you feel like Jimmy overshadowed Jey at all?
No, I think that he was just coming up to him as a brother and telling him, like, hey, bitch, you don't got it.
Yeah.
So, like, get it together or something, or move the fuck out of the way. It's what brothers do to each other. And if you saw it any other way, I mean, maybe you don't have siblings.
That could be. I mean, this could be a case of, like, not knowing what it's like to have somebody care about you.
Exactly. Because, like, I have brothers, and they would talk shit to me like that, and I'm a girl. So. Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird. It is. It's one of those, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. The same people who are hating on Jey Uso for week after week.
So, like, I have not really followed the story.
Sure.
But I still can't believe it's still kind of going on at the same fucking pace. Just not watching.
So me and you went to Saturday Night Main Event.
We did.
Together.
We did.
Right? San Antonio, we went to...
It was awesome.
And it was where we thought Jey Uso was going to win
the
the World Heavyweight Championship. He didn't win. He went on to win the Royal Rumble. And then since then, it has just been a series of Gunther beating him up week after week, week in, week out, beating him up, laughing at him, beating up his friends, just kind of just a whole like bully on the playground situation. And it hasn't been very intriguing at all. And so this is why I talk about it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. The conversation on the internet last week before this happened, the IWC had started to try to push this movement, this idea that like Jey Uso gets a 20-minute entrance, he gets like 2 to 3 minute matches, and then he gets another 30-minute celebration, and that's all Jey Uso is. Like his wrestling, he only has 5 moves. Last week he actually got kind of caught up on the ropes and missed a dive outside of the ring, and they touched on that on Monday Night Raw. But like, this was course correction. I called and I joke about Triple H listening to me, but I tend to think that my mind does operate very close to the way Triple H does. And when I hear the IWC kind of react and start to mumble in a certain way, I knew the course needed to be corrected. I knew, hey, this Yeet thing's good, and it's carried us through a lot of months of wrestling, and the optics have been, like I said, phenomenal. Him winning. I was the only person. Everybody now calls a fucking claim, but they don't believe it. I was the only person who stood on business saying Jey Uso's going to win the Royal Rumble. Everybody else said John Cena, CM Punk. When we did I still have the banner up over here, the Royal Rumble prediction winner. And it's because of Jey Uso that I won that banner. But the reality is, I knew it was the optics. Yeah, WWE loves the 80,000 people yeeting at the same. I can tell you, like, I saw an announcement for in Las Vegas they're going to do a wrestling nightclub. Okay. WrestleMania nightclub sponsored after Saturday night and Sunday night. Well, this 100% means Jey Uso's winning.
Wait. So there's going to be a nightclub that's like WWE?
Straight wrestling. Yeah. Straight wrestling.
It's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'd want to go.
And so the idea is that, like, that's a guarantee Jey Uso wins now. Yeah. Anybody who was questioning and saying, like, well, Gunther may win.
Gunther's not going to show up to the after party there.
Well, but yeah, just imagine what that's going to look like. The videos they're going to have with all of these people in this nightclub with Jey Uso's music hits. Jey Uso comes out on that stage holding the world. Yeah, oh shit, that place is gonna go.
There's gonna be bottles,
absolutely, yes,
stuff everywhere.
It's gonna go nuts.
Bottle girls, fireworks.
It's gonna be one of the smelliest clubs you've ever been in. It's gonna stink like a motherfucker.
That's true.
It's gonna be so nasty.
Oh there. Yes.
It's gonna be so gross.
The lines at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so. It's not gonna be.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
You like it, I know in your head.
In my head I have.
In your head it's
like,
one way.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 20,000 dudes. 20,000 dudes all sweating.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fucking yeeting their asses off. That's what it's gonna be.
It happens.
But yeah, it's
gonna be a heat fest.
It's an optics thing. So that's why I say about Triple H. I'm pretty in tune with him. I know what's going on. I knew Jey Uso would win. Just like I knew, like, you can get all the way to WrestleMania doing this yeet thing and nothing else, and it still would be a big moment, right? Jey Uso would go out there, he'd win the match, 80,000 people will yeet with him for 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long they choose to play his song. The problem is wrestling continues, right? The Monday after it continues. We got to then go to Backlash. We got to then go to SummerSlam. And there's got to be more to Jey Uso than just yeeting. And I think this is the seeds being planted to that something bigger. Yeah. That's what I believe.
All right.
But that's our 5 meltdowns for the price of none. Let's wrap things up. Lauren, you got anything else you want to talk about wrestling wise? Anything going on?
Yeah. So I kind of saw something earlier. I don't know if you saw it.
Go for it.
Did you see Linda Hogan?
No.
Come out? No. She's all over TikTok and everything right now.
I don't deal with the Hogans.
She looks crazy.
I mean,
I don't mean to be talking about people.
But come on, man. Anybody who's involved in the circle of Hogan, anybody who's ever orbited that planet has to be a little bit off the rocker.
I think she was mad because Brooke won't talk to her, but a lot of people are like, Brooke has decided to live the normal life, I guess. Okay. I just thought that was crazy.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about any of that.
That was it.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Casual Wrestling Conversation Daily Show, this Friday edition, the IWC Meltdown. Make sure to hit the like button, drop a comment, and join the Casual Wrestling Discord to keep the conversation going. And remember, if you're easily offended, this show ain't for you. I've been the Notorious Dirty D. That is Level Up Lauren. I'll see you guys Monday, because this is now a daily thing, one topic every day. I'll see you guys Monday for another episode of CWCD. Peace out, people.
Head down, we're ready to rumble. The Casual Pod don't stumble.